Hello everyone, I'm busy customizing the Blade barracks. You get that ability after you've leveled up your blade level a bit, and there is a variety of customizations you can do, like change the room colours, the lighting, there are wall decals as you see here, and later on you can even add pets. I haven't got there yet, of course. Another thing you will get is a hollow figure projector that obviously displays holographic images. I am personally not too fussed ever about these sorts of customizations, but there is one thing I would have liked in Xenoblade X, and that is my own room. I don't play games like Animal Crossing, and I've never been fussed about other games where I could decorate and furniture my own room. But with Xenoblade, I feel so much part of the world and want to make it my own that I think I would have loved just my own little retreat, even if it was just a little box room where I could have a few things of my own. That is really one of the very few criticisms I have of how they've done the world. Okay. Today I want to show you lots of different side quests I've been doing. I'm pretty much a side quest addict in most RPGs, and no surprise, Xenoblade X is no different. Apart from the affinity missions, which I covered in the last video, part 5, there are two other types of side quests you can do. There are basic missions and normal missions, and I will explain those. What you see here, the R&D breakthrough, has mainly to do with the uranium you invest in the armaments manufacturers. However, there are often missions, smaller and bigger side quests tied to getting extra uranium that you can then invest, and this is really important, especially in the beginning, to try and up your level so you can get better gear. So what's the difference between basic and normal missions? It's a bit of an odd choice of word. The basic missions are the ones you get from the board in the Blade concourse. Here you see a repairman's resolve, a basic gathering quest finished. You gather items while running around the world, just picking them up or finding treasure. And they are just that, basic missions. Often they are fetch or gather quests, sometimes defeat an enemy quests. The board quests revolve. There are at any time about 20 or 30, I think, and new ones are added to the board as you complete quests or sometimes cancel one. The board is slightly odd in that some quests will return, others may not, and the new ones take their place. So there's a slightly random nature to it. But the good thing is you can pick and choose exactly the type of quest that will give you the item or a bonus or reward that you're looking for at the time. But the so-called normal missions are quite different because they're tied to one person, and you need to find that person and then agree to do the side quest. And those are often very interesting because you get an insight into the people, you see a side of New LA or the world out there that you haven't seen before. You are, in other words, pushed into exploring every nook and cranny of Mira. How do you find these normal quests or missions? Good question, because New LA is huge. You could run around for hours trying to find particular mission bearers. So there are two ways. You can either use a guide and scroll through the missions available and pick the ones you want, and that's a very good and organised approach, especially if you don't have a lot of time to fritter away. However, one day I just felt like running around New LA a bit and just soaking in the atmosphere, and I had no other plans apart from just ambling around, maybe talking to a few people. As it happened, I bumped into several people who happened to have a side quest, a normal mission, which I then engaged with, and I had such a fun time doing these that I now want to share them and other quests with you. Had I mentioned the importance of adjusting the time of day at the base camps? You really want to take advantage of this. The daytime makes things often a lot easier. So for a warm-up, here's a very simple basic mission. You can see marked with a green arrow. We just have to dispose of this particular suet. I picked that up from the quest board. And it makes sense to pick up these types of basic missions if you know you're going into an area with this specific enemy in abundance. You might as well grab the rewards while you're at it. Just having a breather, soaking in the atmosphere. Ain't it beautiful? And here I am reporting an actual normal mission completed to Myles. The mission was called Myles to Go and involved defeating the whimsical Dugwil on the West Junpath Plain, then take supplies to the Blades who were attacked by dangerous indigents while on duty, and finally report back to Myles. So you can see from that it was a bit more of an involved mission, which is typical for these normal missions. And there we've notched up an affinity heart. So here we are in a cafe in the commercial district talking to Coco, the manager, and she's having a problem with one of her staff members called Joe. I thought at first that sounded a bit, well, possibly boring, but have a look at how this situation turned out. There's quite a bit of comedy in it. However, there is a little bit of method to my madness, because I do like talking to people in between. You never know what will happen. And look at that, a connection has been formed and relationships have improved. You just never know when these connections might come in handy in the future. What's this? This is the symbol for an affinity mission. Aha, 9 lives, required level 20, but you need to complete chapter 5 first. And you saw the warning again, which I mentioned before, that you cannot overlap a story mission and an affinity mission. So yeah, it takes a bit of management working out what to do when. I recorded this footage some time ago, so I'm afraid I can't remember all the detail, and I'm sorry the helmets are still on. They will come off, I promise you. And the gods are finally smiling on me. See that orange question mark there, a bit further along? That must be who I need to see. Jo herself.
Now what?
1, 2, 3, 4.
Jo seems to be rummaging around for excuses. Okay, and we got a heart out of that. Are you good with machines by any chance? She's clearly angling for some help. Heat-proof Inex pipes. Now we have the normal mission, better latte than never. Finally, we accept it and we set it straight away so that we can see it on the right-hand side at all times with hints. What to do now? I decide to have a quick rummage around my inventory because you never know, there might be some Inex heat-proof pipes hiding away somewhere. Maybe I just don't have the right number, and I go through various categories, but I've got everything under the sun, but of course not those particular pipes. We need to talk to Jo again now. It's the old delve a bit deeper, and here we are. The backstory is finally coming out. Oh dear, she is in trouble. Oh, you're so dependable, unlike that machine. She's buttering us up. Look at that! I can hand over the Inex pipes. I had them all along. They were hiding in the collectibles category. I don't think I looked there. Okay, we get some hearts, but I'm a bit nervous about this. Finest coffee creation ever. I just hope she doesn't ruin the machine again. Disaster! That's Coco. She's trying to run away. The girl is deaf to electronics, says the manager Coco. Are you a friend of hers? Oh dear. I think we are being roped in here. Is Tatsu trying to help? No, he doesn't seem to have the answer either. So we now need to look for Jo in the residential district, it says. First, of course, we need to leave the commercial district and enter the residential district. We can either run round to the edges and move over into the residential district, or we use the gamepad and simply tap on residential district and get teleported there. I reconstruct that I opted for the gamepad option. So we're now in the residential district at the water purification plant, and we need to find an icon that will tell us where Joe is. The orange circle tells us the area where she is, so let's amble over there. But first I have a conversation with Rosie, who works at the water purification plant. It sounds a bit like boring work, but out of that conversation, we added to our spider web of affinities handsome and abuse of office. Now, HB is recruitable. You have gumption, I'll give you that, for I rank among the elitist of the elite, and few possess the temerity to address a blade of my stature. Blimey. We will have to recruit him at some later point. You see that little note popping up, segment recon complete? That's important too, because it tells us we have explored this particular part of the map in the residential district. Map completion is obviously an important part of the whole game. And we have another relationship entered into our database and improved. I now have my eye on the turquoise exclamation mark in the orange circle. So there's a little clue that she comes to the church quite a lot, so hopefully we can find her in the vicinity. And sure enough, we find her on the other side of the church. Holy frother! That's a new one on me. She's now broken the freezer. We've all broken a freezer, Joe. Oh yes, console her. So we got another relationship improvement. Can you help me out again? Yeah, I was just waiting for that. Super fired. No. Okay, she now needs fuel tanks. Time to woman up. She's broken her comms device. I suspect she won't be good with smartphones either. Coco appears. You really think blowing up a freezer too is going to faze me at this point? Joe the barista. She's just too good. How are you 2 years younger than me yet so much more mature? Oh my goodness, we've completed the mission. And there you see everything we did to complete it. You and me have a freezer to fix, kid. Yes, ma'am. So all of this happened because I was just running around and happened to talk to Coco. And that's what I love. You just don't know what's round the corner, and you can run into interesting side quests, and maybe some are not so interesting, but I haven't been bored yet. And I love doing it this way because it's not as organised as using a guide and, seeking out and ticking off the ones you want to do, but it's got the element of surprise. So next I want to show you another normal mission quest that I ran into completely by accident. I really love the amount of detail and thought the team put into bringing all these NPCs to life, making life in New LA really believable and realistic. And the amount of interactions you can have is just amazing. So here I came across someone called Graham at his car, and I got interested because close by is an orange question mark denoting a possible mission. So talking to Graham might yield some more insight. Not wasting your life in the corporate world, I can totally understand that. Okay, Graham, you get a thumbs up.
This sucks.
Oh, ne'er-do-wells. They're stealing from vehicles and assaulting passers-by. Oh, we're up against a challenge here. Are we up to it? Of course we are.
Great.
Here we are. The mission beckons. Yes, Justin, I think you are at the end of a spot of bullying. Oh, Justin wants a great evil worthy of facing justice. Oh, that really enrages the bullies even further. Agents of swift justice always step forth after a chump drops a cheesy line like that. Well, what do you think will happen? Do we step forth? Can you hold us back? And off they scarper. So he's now got a wrecked car for his troubles. Oh, I'm perfect protagonist material. Thank you very much. Heroine meets evildoer and beats the stuffing out of him. Wonderful. Justin is fully immersed in fairy and fantasy tales. Just think of some heroic questions while you're gone. Yes. Okay, and I have to run around and find the parts. Oh, fair enough. Normal mission, a hero's ride. Gather 2 anhydrous radiators in Primordia. With any luck, we should already have those. Yep. No matter how absurd the request may be. Well, Justin, you said it. I'm an agent of justice, yeah. Puff up your chest. No, I'm not in the habit of doing that. I just shake my helmet. Bold of action, yet humble of spirit. Yeah, that's me to a T. You notice how long it takes for Justin to appear there, and that's the very slow pop-in that Digital Foundry and others were commenting on. So the easiest thing would be to talk to Justin again, and then if we do have the parts, they will just pop up, rather than me rummaging around in my item repository of about 10,000 things. You must have some deep personal motive for hating evil. You were bitten by a radioactive Scorpo. No, Justin, I don't think so. Perhaps the fight for justice needs no reason. Indeed. Yes, you were overcomplicating, Justin. Okay, Justin, you're just getting very verbose again. We'll come together to sing your mighty praises, yes. The perfect morality tale. Okay, so let's show him the parts that might calm him down. Yes, you did get a bit lost in yourself. Yes, of course I had them, I mean...
1, 2, 3, 4.
Mission complete. You're a paragon of justice for us all now. Okay, I'll bear that in mind, Justin. Ah, it's the hand of fate now. I have a feeling we will run across Justin again in the future. He is just too good to waste. Okay. And hearts all around. I hope you can see why I love these silly little side quests. Most of them have humorous characters in them. When I played through A Hero's Ride the first time, I was just laughing my head off at Justin. And of course I wasn't recording at the time, so I thought, no, I got to backtrack. And even playing it a second time, I was still smiling and chuckling to myself. To finish up for today, here's a little scene with a Nopon called Cheche, giving us some insight. Nopon, very wise race that live in caravans around Mira. They travel to every corner of the planet selling fabulous wares. But gullible, reliable friends like Human fill all Nopon with newfound hope. The entrepreneurial Cheche might prove very useful in the future as an informant. Thank you very much for watching.